Can we start the Mangalcharan, Mataji? Shall we wait for some time?
Prabhuji, just live stream. You can start.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udiraye Nastya Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yatkrapatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dina Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Matajis, please accept my respectful obeisances. And I welcome you all to today's session of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, kindly bless me that I can say something in the glorification of the Lord, and right words, right time, with the right spirit comes from my mouth, and then it stays in our hearts for a long time. Hare Krishna. So now, yes. So what are we going to learn today is about Mother Lakshmi and her intimate relation with the Lord Vishnu, and we will try to go somewhere in some pastimes of Vrindavana, what value, what relation they have, okay, and how important it is to relish their nectarian pastimes. So we'll start directly with the verse. Yuvam tu visvasya vibhuhu jagatah karanam param iyam hi prakriti sukshma aya shakti duratyaya. So, anyone wants to read the translation? There is no purport. So, yes, Krishnamurti Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. My Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, you are the proprietors of the entire creation. Indeed, you are the cause of the creation. Mother Lakshmi is extremely difficult to understand because she is so powerful that the jurisdiction of her power is difficult to overcome. Mother Lakshmi is represented in the material world as the external energy, but actually, she is always the internal energy of the Lord. Shall I read purport, Prabhuji?
Actually, there is no purport, Prabhuji. I mean, only text 13 has purport. Yeah, give a nice. So we see in the translation, these are the instructions that Mother Diti was following, right? As it was suggested by Kashyapa Muni. So she has taken the vow, right, for the month, and then she has been following these instructions during this month. How to worship, right? What mantras to be recited, the exact process. So it says, my Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, who is the goddess of fortune, you are the proprietor of the entire creation. Indeed, you are the cause of the creation. Mother Lakshmi is extremely difficult to understand because she is so powerful that the jurisdiction of her power is difficult to overcome. Mother Lakshmi is represented in the material world as the external energy, but actually she is always the internal energy of the Lord. So the relationship that Mother Lakshmi carries with the Lord is of servitude. See, both Lord Vishnu, he is the Lord himself. Then why is Mother Lakshmi referred to as the internal energy of the Lord? Because the same Mother Lakshmi, when she is in the Goloka, she is the internal consort, the internal potency of the Lord, Aladani Shakti. And when it is in this material world, okay, then it is external energy. Now, both the Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi, they have no difference. In the terms of Tattva, Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in terms of the rasa, the taste, Mother Lakshmi is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is very, very difficult and very risky, okay, to make an offense when we try to understand and contemplate on Mother Lakshmi. Okay. We know a pastime of Bhandiravan, right? That Mother Lakshmi is not allowed entry in Vrindavana. She can stay up to Bhandiravan in the territory of Vrija. There are 12 forests. Vrindavana is the topmost. Vrinda is the name of Mother Tulasi. On her name, Vrindavana name is decided. And then one is Bhandirvana. And okay, I think Bhandirvana is a place where Lord Brahma did the marriage of Srimati Radharani and the Lord Krishna. What is that name of that place where Mother Lakshmi? It is not Bhandirvana. Mother Lakshmi. It starts with M. And whatever the Lakshmi worships in which Varna? Oh, Raja. It says Belvan. Yes. In Belvana, she has the entry till there. And then because Mother Lakshmi cannot leave her opulence, and then in Vrindavana, there is no place of opulence. That's why Mother Lakshmi does not have the entry there. But it is a lesson for us, for if we want to go and enter in the Vrindavana in the mood of our opulence and with our external vision, then even though we are in Vrindavana, but we are not in Vrindavana. Vrindavana is not a place, it is a consciousness. So we'll go further and then touch more about the details of Vrindavana and its glories. Tasya Adhishwara Sakshat Tvam Eva Purusha Para Tvam Sarve Yagya Ijjayam Kriyayam Falabhu Bhavan. My Lord, you are the master of energy, and therefore you, wherever Y is you, it is referred for the Lord Vishnu. My Lord, you are the master of energy, and therefore you are the supreme person. you are sacrifice, yagna, personified. Lakshmi, the embodiment of spiritual activities, is the original form of worship offered unto you, whereas you are the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So, as we just discussed, like both of them are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One in terms of Tattva, and Mother Lakshmi in terms of Rasa. There is no difference in Mother Lakshmi and Srimati Radharani. Her expansion, her one of the expansion, Radharani is one of the expansion is Mother Lakshmi. So, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, I think shloka number 18, Bhokta Aram Yagyatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Surdam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvanam Shanti Mrishati. So there, you are the okay, you are the sacrifice, yagna personified. So he is the benefactor of all the yagnas. Any sacrifice that we do, even if it is very simple, like during Ganesh Chaturthi, right? After the Ganesha Puja, we hear, like especially in the region, nowadays it is followed everywhere. After the Ganesha Puja, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. They do it like this. So the ultimate benefactor is Lord Vishnu. Whichever puja, whichever anything is done, they may worship the demigods first. But at the end, Lord Vishnu is the benefactor of all. The thing is, everyone follows that, but we don't pay like attention to what has been followed, and it has been just followed like as a ritual. Okay, all we have discussed, I think, a couple of times earlier. All the demigods are very, very respectful personalities. We must have, after coming into Krishna consciousness, our respect for the demigods should even increase further, because now we understand they are not ordinary living being. They have been chosen by the Lord to do a specific service. Like we see, Lord Ganesha is for removing the obstacles, Mother Saraswati is for goddess of learning, demigod is for, like Lord Indra is for rains. Like that, they are very, very close to the Lord. And if we directly, if we insult and have disrespect for the demigods, it is indirectly disrespect to the Lord only, because they have been designated by the Lord. At the same time, if it is very important to understand, because many times we often do mistake on this. If we consider demigods as the Lord himself, then even those demigods are embarrassed. Because if we call a senior manager of a company as the owner of the company, it is not a correct way. The manager will think like, "Bhai, mera naukri chala jayega," right? So we must have the right understanding and a great respect for the demigods. Okay. Verse 13. Guna vyaktir ivam devi vyanjako guna bhugvavan tvam hi sarva shariratma shri sharirendriya shayayaha nama rupe bhagavati pratyas tvam apashrayah. If any Prabhuji or Mataji wants to recite, we have time, so kindly feel it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, shall I recite?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Prabhu, you have to scroll up.
Is this fine, Mataji?
No, some more.
Okay.
Translation I can't see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine, Mataji. I thought you wanted to recite the verse also, but translation we can do it. Okay.
I didn't understand, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Mother Lakshmi, who is here, is the reservoir of all spiritual qualities. whereas you manifest and enjoy all these qualities. Indeed, you are actually the enjoyer of everything. You live as the super soul of all living entities, and the goddess of fortune is the form of their bodies, senses, and minds. She also has a holy name and form, whereas you are the support of all such names and forms and the cause for their manifestation. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other devotee want to read the purport also? This verse alone has the purport today. So others are only translations.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, okay, Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Madhavacharya, the Acharya of Tattvavadis, has described this verse in the following way. Vishnu is described as Yajna, personified, and Mother Lakshmi is described as spiritual activities and the original form of worship. In fact, they represent spiritual activities and super soul of all Yajna. Lord Vishnu is the super soul even of Lakshmi Devi, but no one can be the super soul of Lord Vishnu, for Lord Vishnu himself is the spiritual super soul of everyone. According to Madhavacharya, there are two tattvas or factors. One is independent and other is dependent. The first tattva is Supreme Lord, Vishnu, and the second is Jiva tattva. Lakshmi Devi, being dependent on Lord Vishnu, is sometimes counted among the Jivas. Gaudiya Vaishnavas, however, describe Lakshmi Devi in accordance with the following two verses from Pramaya Ratnavali of Baladeva Vidya Bhushana. The first verse is a quotation from the Vishnu Purana. Nityaiva sa Jaganmata Vishnorsir Anapayini Yata Sarvagato Vishnus Tataiveyam Dvijotama Vishnu Syu Sakyas Tistras Tasuya Kirtita Para Saiva Srishtad Abhineti Praha Sishyan Prabhur Mahan. O best of Brahmanas, Lakshmi Ji is the constant companion of Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, and therefore she is called Anapayini. She is mother of all creation. As Lord Vishnu is all-pervading, his spiritual potency, Mother Lakshmi, is also all-pervading. Lord Vishnu has three principal potencies: internal, external, and marginal. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted Parashakti, the spiritual energy of Lord, as being identical with the Lord. Thus, she is also included in the independent Vishnu Tattva. In Kantimala, commentary on Prema Ratnavali, Prameya Ratnavali, there is this statement: Nanu kvachit nitya mukta jivatvam Lakshmya svikrutam tatraha praheti Nityaveti Pade Sarva Vyapi Katanena Kalakashteti Adipadye Dvaye Suddho Apiti Uktacha Maha Prabhuna Swasishyan Prati Lakshmya Bhagavat Advaitam Upadistam Kvajit Yastasyastu Dvaitam Uktam Tattu Tad Avishta Nityamukta Jivam Adaya Sangatastamastu Tamastu. Although some authoritative Vaishnava disciplic succession count the goddess of fortune among the ever-liberated living entities, Jiva, in Vaikunta, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in accordance with the statement in Vishnu Purana, has described Lakshmi as being identical with Vishnu Tattva. The correct conclusion is that descriptions of Lakshmi as being different from Vishnu are stated when an eternally liberated living entity is imbued with the quality of Lakshmi. They do not pertain to Mother Lakshmi, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So we see there are two rasas. On one side, it mentions that Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya is like our parampara in ISKCON. This is called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So it starts with Brahma and then further continues till Madhvacharya. So, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in the lineage. So Madhvacharya is one of our ancestors in our parampara. So he says, he's the Acharya of the Tattvavadis. He has described this verse in the following way, where he says, Vishnu is described as Yagna personified, and the Mother Lakshmi is described as a spiritual activities and the original form of worship. In fact, they represent spiritual activities and the super soul of all the yagnas. Now, yes, this line is important. Lord Vishnu is the super soul even of Lakshmi Devi. But no one can be the super soul of Lord Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu, he himself, is the spiritual super soul of everyone. So we know that amongst all of us, there is a soul, which is nothing but our own self, Jiva Tattva, and then there is a super soul, which is also called the Paramatma. Now, the same Paramatma is there in the heart of everyone, every living entity. It is very interesting and important to understand that we as Jiva, soul is having one identity. But it does not mean that Paramatma is divided into, suppose the entire population of entire universe put together is a 10,000 living being. So one Paramatma is divided into 10,000 parts, and then he is there in one part of that is there in the heart of everyone. No. The Paramatma is only one. And the same Paramatma is there in the heart of every single one. That's why it is very easy to contemplate. Okay? When we say, if we are in problem, right, don't complain, just accept it as the blessing of the Lord. Because when we start chanting, when we just take one step in our spiritual life, the Lord starts making plan from that day, then moment onwards, that now I have to do something for this Jiva. Now it is my responsibility. Lord does not look at the qualities. Yesterday evening, we were fortunate to attend one live session of His Grace Amrindra Prabhuji in Bangalore. So he was mentioning in his lecture that in Vrindavana, he was giving an example of peacock. So he was mentioning peacock does not have any good quality, because the color of his feathers is as if the Lord does not have the quota of the colors anymore. Okay, all the colors are there spread in the feathers. The food of peacock is a snake. The legs of the peacock are very ugly, and he cannot fly high. Okay? But that peacock, when he offers one feather to Lord Krishna, he becomes dearmost to the Lord. So we do not need to have a very high parenthood. We do not need to be a scholar. We do not need to be some artistic person. We do not need to be great in anything. Our relation with the Lord itself is enough. Okay, we are right. Mame vamasho jiva loke. We are the part and parcel of the Lord. He is our Supreme Father. Now, that relation, keeping that in mind, if we just take one small baby step, even if we are not able to focus in our chanting, so what? as a father, in the prayers of Kunti Maharani, it mentions like, as a baby starts taking small little steps, the father is very happy. Father does not expect the baby to run and become PT Usha or right, because runner. Father just expects the baby is trying, and that makes the father very happy. That is a relationship that we carry with our Lord. If we are trying, okay, Lord will help us. He will do the arrangement by sending us those souls who can help us to progress more. Okay? It is not our responsibilities anymore from that moment. And then further, Prabhuji was mentioning yesterday that the name more in the Brij Bhasha, right? More means mine. So everyone, including the Lord, calls the peacock as more, that he is mine. He is mine. So once we are Krishna's, okay, then we don't have to worry. So, okay, further when we go in the purport, according to Madhvacharya, there are two tattvas, and one is independent, the other is dependent. So which is independent? Lord, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, okay, he is independent, and Jiva Tattva is dependent. So Lakshmi Devi, being dependent on Lord Vishnu, is sometimes counted amongst the Jivas. Whereas the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, however, describe Lakshmi Devi in accordance with the following two verses. And then towards the end, the correct conclusion is that the descriptions of Lakshmi as being different from Vishnu are stated when an eternally liberated living being is imbued with the quality of Lakshmi. They do not pertain to Mother Lakshmi, the eternal consort of the Lord Vishnu. So Mother Lakshmi, there is no difference. Okay, according to Baladeva Buddhya Bhushan, they are both one. There is no difference. So further to this, I also want to share one another pastime when Krishna with his cowherd boys friends, when they were playing, okay, they were having a unique type of fun. They were chasing different birds, animals, and then one of the example that they took was cuckoo bird. Cuckoo bird looks similar as crow. If we see, there is no difference. But once we hear the cuckoo bird, then yes, we can make out the difference. So it so happens that Krishna and along with the cowherd boys, they were following the cuckoo bird, and finally, when they close to the bird, Krishna makes the sound of cuckoo bird, and then hearing Krishna's sound, the cuckoo bird feels ashamed because the bird complains that I have the same form, same color like the crow, but the only quality that I had was my voice. But now when Krishna starts doing cuckooing, right? So Krishna can do better cuckooing than the cuckoo bird. So the bird feels ashamed that this was my only quality, and then you can do it better than me. Your voice is much better. So she feels ashamed. So, okay, why are we discussing that example here? Because if we read these two different aspects, okay, on one side, same Mother Lakshmi is counted separately, and on the other side, she is considered at the same level as the internal potency Srimati Radharani. So, देखने में दोनों एक जैसा है, right? But when we hear and when we try to go deep, then we realize, okay, It is same Srimati Radharani in the Goloka Vrindavana. And if we see this Navavidha Bhakti, right? 9 stages of devotional progress. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Samaranam, Pada Sevanam, right? So Pada Sevanam means massaging the lotus feet. So there, who is the example of Pada Sevanam? Mother Lakshmi, always constantly serving the lotus feet of the Lord. So when it comes to serving the Lord, Srimati Radharani takes any form. Okay, we'll go further. Yatha yuvam trilokasya vardau paramesthino tatha ma uttama shloka santu satya mahashisha. You, yes, Padaji, yes, please read. Very sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, please, Padaji. Please read.
Hare. Translation by Divine Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You are both the supreme rulers and benedictors of the 3 worlds. Therefore, my Lord, Uttama Shloka, may my ambitions be fulfilled by your grace. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Padaji. So, Mother Diti is praying, okay, that you both are the supreme rulers and benedictor of the 3 worlds. So this word is very, very important. Therefore, my Lord, Uttam Shloka. What is the meaning of Uttam Shloka? O Lord, who are praised with excellent verses. So the one who is glorified with the chosen prayers is called Uttama Shloka. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, especially, I don't remember any shloka in Bhagavad Gita. I mean, just for the information that where Uttam Shloka comes, but in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is full of the glories of the chosen words. There are so many verses where Uttam Shloka comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is like a good identifier. Wherever we see the word Uttam Shloka, it means that verse is very, very dear. It is a very easy trick to please the Lord. There are, let me try to recall. Okay, because that control panel was coming, so I was not able to see it. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Veda base 1.1.19. Yes. Vayam tuna vitraptyam uttama shloka vikrame yad shranvatam rasa jnananam swadu swadu pade pade. So once again, Uttam Shloka, the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by the transcendental prayers. So here, the sages of Naimisharanya, they are telling to Sutta Goswami, what? We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastime of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by the hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationship with Him, they relish hearing of His pastimes at every moment. What is the first verse of Siksastakam? Right? Cheto darpana maharjanam pava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam. And then it ends with the anandambudhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrit swadanam. Every single step there is purna amrit, full nectar. So see, we may be at the very initial stage of our bhakti. It is fine because the whole path is filled with the nectar. And the Lord knows at what point of time, okay, what is the best medicine for us to progress in bhakti? If we are not getting any taste, it means we need to go deep. It is a signal, because now the script is there in the hand of the Lord. If we, first of all, when we do our bhakti, it is for the pleasure of the senses of the Lord. We have tried it enough, pleasing our senses, and we have never been successful. Even if we get some taste, it is of lower in quality. And secondly, fine, we can compromise with the lower quality taste. But is it there forever? No. It is also temporary. Our disease has become so serious that if we do not have any problem in our life, we get fearful. Is everything going right? Look at our situation. It is for every one of us, and we see it around. If we feel everything is going fine, no problem. Something is wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. We question this thing to ourselves, right? And then this is one side. On the other side, we feel, when this is the one most often quoted example by Srila Prabhupada. If a man is deep in the water and unable to breathe, and if we bring that person out just for a few seconds, means what? He is just able to manage to breathe. Then when we don't have the problem, we feel that is happiness. And there are so many concocted sayings around this, right? We say, no problem, no news means good news, right? So the point is what? Point is, we should know what is ultimately good for us. In Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, and verse I'm not able to recall. I had shared it all. Even I shared it on one of the group. I took a note of this today afternoon. So it is very much in line with what we discussed for that peacock example. Just give me a second. I am opening it, and I am almost there. This chapter only I had to connect. Yes, even mundane things. Let me just search. Even mundane things. Yes, this is the line. Even mundane activities dovetailed with service to the Lord are also calculated to be transcendental or approved Kavalya affairs. Means if we do not have anything extraordinary, okay, if we are having something very, very simple, no qualities, but if we dovetail in the service of the Lord, that same thing becomes transcendental. There is one more place where it comes. Even mundane.
Prabhu, can you give an example, Prabhu, how a mundane work to be dovetailed with
Yes,
Submiss?
Swami. So we discussed the example of the peacock feather example, right? The peacock has no quality. He cannot run. I mean, sorry, he cannot fly,
Yes,
eat
Prabhupada.
snakes. But when he just offered, it's one feather to the Lord, right? One of the name of peacock became more. More means mine, Krishna's. So this is very practical application of Bhagavad Gita 9.27 also, Mataji. Yat karoshi yadasenasi yat juhoshi tadati yat yatapasyashi kontaya tat kurusva madharpanam. Meaning, whatever you do, Krishna is not saying, give me your best and then you offer it to me. Out of love, that is our responsibility. But Krishna is saying, whatever you do, right? Let me just bring it, open that verse only. Yes. Yes. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So in no place in this verse, Lord is saying, give me your something very expensive, something very extraordinary, your best you give me. Lord is saying whatever. Whatever means what? Whatever means how much our good or how much our bad or how much our worst we are. But thinking and accepting our limitations, if we kindly pray the Lord, right? That Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, right? Siksastakam, verse number 5. This is very important prayer. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Atitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kirpaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Dhuli Sadasitam Vichintaya. O son of, let me just increase the size. Okay. O son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the items at your lotus feet. Our only problem is our false ego. And how the false ego is so important problem, because it is not visible, it is subtle. We talk about the 8 elements, right? Bhumi, Apo, Anal, Vayu, Kammana, Buddhi, Evacha. So among these all 8 elements, the one which is most subtle is the false ego. Ahankara, what is that? Bhagavad Gita 7.4, I guess. Yes. 7.4. भूमि आपो अनल वायु कम्मनो बुद्धि एवच अहंकारा इत्यम में भिन्ना प्रकृतिर अष्टदा. Most visible is earth, then water, then fire. It is there in the order. Earth we can see easily. Water we can see, but not that easily as earth. Fire we can see easily, but not as easily as earth and water. Air we cannot see, we can feel. Ether we can just feel. Mind we cannot see, we cannot, I mean, it is there or it is not there. I mean, but mind is mind. Intelligence and false ego is the most subtle. How it is subtle? If we just say, we need to hear when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What we have to do? Just hear. Is it Is it very difficult? You have to just hear, right? But what happens every morning when we do chanting? This simple, the most simple, we don't have to speak, right? When I say speak, we don't have to by heart some very difficult, complex shlokas for the glorification of the Lord. Some big stuti. No. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Very simple. Just recite and hear. 99% of our progress in spiritual life depends on chanting. Spiritual life is very important, right? We have to escape this cycle of birth and death. So, what is most important? Chanting. In chanting, Bhurijana Prabhu, he says, when we chant with attentive hearing and when we chant without attentive hearing, this is equal to we sitting in a room with light on and versus light off. When light is on, we can see everything very clearly. When we are chanting attentively, it is as good as we keeping the light on. Light off means we cannot see. We don't know what we are doing. We are just doing mechanically. Is it useless? No. Name of the Lord cannot go useless. Impossible. But if you want to progress fast, did I say, or actually I'm repeating Prabhupada's words. Did Prabhupada say 50% of your success is on chanting and you have remaining 50% to contemplate upon? Did he say so? No. He said 99%. So there should not be any doubt. But then what happens when we want to hear? No, we don't hear. When we remember this line, maybe sometimes again, His Grace Bhurijana Prabhu says, if your entire session of one day japa, if you hear once the Mahamantra, it is enough. But if the Lord is so merciful that He is saying once you hear Mahamantra, it is enough, what is our responsibility then next? But why all this does not happen? Because of the false ego. That false ego which we are not able to experience, see, realize, and getting forgotten immediately. Okay, so long answer to your short question, Mataji, but I think when we ask question and answer, we learn more because our focus is on that point. So before we go to the verse, does that answer your question, Mataji? Okay, I'll progress further then. So last verse of the day, iti 15, right? Iti abhishtya varadham Srinivasam Shriyasah tanni saryo paranam datva chamanan marchet. Try once again. Iti abhishtaya vardhanam Srinivasa Shriyasah tanni saryo paranam datva chaman marchayet. So who someone wants to read the translation of this last verse of the day?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, thus one should worship Lord Vishnu, who is known as Srinivasa, along with Mother Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, by offering prayers according to the process mentioned above. After removing all the paraphernalia of worship, one should offer them water to wash their hands and mouth, and then one should worship them again.
Thank you, Maji. Hare Krishna. So, here the process of how to worship the Lord has been mentioned. So it is one of the very important instruction when we do deity worship it in our homes. Okay. So when we see many devotees attending some aarti and then pujari doing the worship, so the Lord accepts the prayer of the devotees, their offering via pujari, because not everyone, because of the physical reason, right? Not everybody can come to the Lord, and then not everybody can do the worship. Otherwise, it will not be systematic. So when we offer all these paraphernalias, starting with the incense stick, followed by the lamp, followed by the water, then the kerchief, and the flowers, then the charmer, and then the peacock feather. So this is the sequence that is followed. Now, when these paraphernalias are offered, the mood of the pujari, whether we are in temple or in our home alone, the mood of the pujari who is doing the deity worship should be that we are serving the Lord directly. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Brajendra Nandan. It is not just a murti, it is the Lord himself who has incarnated in the form of the Vigraha to accept our service. This single line can change our life. Because when we take the darshan of the Lord, the mood that we have while taking the darshan, immediately it is a benchmark how much advanced we are in our bhakti. We must have no doubt that the Lord and the Vigraha are two different things. So if we are fully convinced of this fact, and then if we do offer water, offer charmer, how will we feel if some important person, okay, comes to our house, and if we get a chance to serve him, how much careful we will be. I'm not talking about Prime Minister of country coming into our house, just society president, okay? Every society, there are innumerable number of societies, apartments in the country, in the city. If our apartment's president, just an example I'm saying, if he comes to our house, we feel like, what can I do for him? Not because for any favor that we need, but he's a respected person. He has been chosen for that role by the whole apartment. Let me do my part by serving him. So what is the point? Point is, the same way that the society president is a person and we want to please him, the same Lord in the form of Archa Vigraha is the Lord. And I heard from my Shiksha Guru last week, our acharyas in the altar, they are all transcendental. What is the meaning of transcendental? They are there. They are watching us from there. Does Paramatma, who sits in our heart, does he say us anything? No. Updakshanta, what is that shloka? Updakshanta Anumanta. He is the observer, overseer. They don't say anything. Paramatma is not coming and forcing us. No, you do like this, you don't do like this. They are observing us. Same way, our acharyas in our altar are transcendental, are observing us. See, the game is very clear. If you're talking about anything material, we can hide anything from anyone. Nobody is seeing us. We can do the way that we want. If we are talking of anything material, when we accept we are doing something spiritual, then we should not do it with duplicity or half-heartedly. If we accept we are doing something spiritual, then we must have full conviction that we don't need to apply our mundane brain into those things. That I can do a mix of this, mix of that. The Lord is very merciful. He knows us that we are trying to take the baby steps. They are very, very forgiving. They will forget. But from our side, as our responsibility should be what best we can do for them. Ours is an instruction movement. Srila Prabhupada, yesterday, I'll just take last 2 or 3 minutes maybe. When it was 50th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada going to US, Prabhupada was not there physically, but his disciples, many of his disciples were there in Boston, USA, where Prabhupada had landed. And then they did, they tried to follow exactly something like Prabhupada did at his time. They took a small tour within that ocean, okay, for some time doing the kirtan, and then they came at the same point where Prabhupada had landed. And then one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada was saying, because in the sea, in the ocean, there is a seasickness. Our stomach starts behaving differently. I mean, I don't know how many of us have experienced. It looks very, until we experience, we find it very difficult to believe. Okay? But if we go in an ocean, within few minutes, we start feeling a very different experience. So it is called seasickness. So the senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada was saying, I could find it very difficult being in the ocean for last 37 minutes. And Prabhupada took 37 days to reach Boston from India. So the point is, Prabhupada was in Vrindavana, Radha Damodar temple, the place where whole world wants to pass their last days. Prabhupada, in the great ecstasy, was right there in his 70s. So this is the last line of the day. I'm just passing it as postman, what Prabhuji told to me. I found it very inspiring, so I wanted to share it here. We in our home showing flowers to Prabhupada and doing Jai Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. This is good. This is very important. But this is not the most recommended method to serve Prabhupada. If Prabhupada comes in front of us, okay, physically, so-called physically, and then if he looks at us, offering flower, singing Guru Vandana, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhagati Sadma, offering flower, dancing, Prabhupada will immediately say, boss, you don't do anything of this, take my book and read. Means what? If we want to serve Srila Prabhupada in the way that he wanted to be served, we must still do Guru Vandana. We must still offer the flower. We must say Jai Srila Prabhupada. Everything we must do. But we must be very clear in our heart that all these things comes second. First is to take the association of Srila Prabhupada. Another very similar instance. Sorry, I'm going to take another 1 or 2 minutes more. One devotee comes running in ISKCON Juhu temple to His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. And he says, Maharaj, please give me blessing. The class was 8 to 9. The person reaches running in the temple at 9 a.m. when the class was over. And he asked Maharaj, give me mercy. Maharaj said, mercy over. He checked, he was just acting. He checked the bag, mercy is over. I don't have any mercy. So the person was feeling very upset. Why Maharaj is saying so? Then His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhuji was sitting next to him. So Maharaj asked Prabhu to explain to that Prabhu who came running. And then the Prabhu took him on the side and then explained, the class is over. Means what? The words of the acharyas are their mercy. If we really want our gurus, our acharyas to bless us, we should take their Vani association. Because they are telling us something which they really want us to follow. So the mercy is there in the instruction. Srila Prabhupada is not coming and asking us, have you read my book every day? It is an instruction moment that we have been instructed to read. We must read it. And once we build that relationship, then we are following the instructions. We are doing 16 rounds of chanting. We are doing 4 regularity principles. That's all, nothing else. Sorry, we took 4 minutes extra, but the message was very clear. We want to serve Srila Prabhupada in the way that he wanted us. So let us spend every day, single day, sometime. This is called Swadhyay, self-learning. Swa-adhyan, Swadhyay. So let us spend some time every day reading Srila Prabhupada. This is how we can come close to him. Hare Krishna. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free. We together can answer any question. I'm not an expert, but we can try, all of us together. So, all right then, Prabhujis and Matajis, I seek your blessings so that I can serve the Lord throughout my life. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhujis and Matajis.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
I'll close the meeting with your permission.